everyone. This is Dr. Carmen Bryan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and of course, I'm your host. So I've been doing a series of teachings, and this one happens to be about the narcissist weapons. You know, the weapons you find out that they have many weapons in their arsenal of weapons that they use against people. And so I've been doing a series discussing the different types. There are many, and I probably won't hit on all of them. But like the important ones that all of them are important. But ones that are very obvious to you are the ones that I am addressing, because once you realize that you are not crazy and what you're witnessing is real, or what you're feeling is real, a lot of times people feel validated. They feel validated, and the more information that you get, the more knowledge that you're getting, and really the more revelation of what is happening, it becomes, and I'm not going to say it's super easy, but it becomes easier to try to maneuver yourself out of that relationship. But sometimes you have to get the understanding and the knowledge to understand what is happening in the relationship. And today I wanted to talk about the infamous gaslighting. That is like one of the top tools that is, or weapons that is used in, especially in a narcissistic relationship. Now, it's used in many relationships. It be found, people, parents, friends, peers, bosses, and close relationships. In this particular, series or this topic on YouTube for me is dealing with those that are going through domestic violence with someone that we assume possibly has narcissistic personality disorder, and to describe the behaviors, how they act, how they think, the things that they do, and to simplify it in words that you understand. And sometimes to say things that you may not be willing to say or can say. So I try to take that and simplify it to make it into everyday language for you to understand. So gaslighting is domestic violence. Gaslighting is a manipulation technique used in abusive relationships. Like I said, is used by many people. In this particular instance, we're talking about the narcissist, and is used to manipulate people, to cause them to be unstable, to question your sanity. That's the biggest thing, to question your sanity, to question your knowledge, to cause you to be unstable in your thought and in your mind. It gets to a point where that's why they isolate you or get you away from people that are a voice of reason. It's almost like your mind is almost in the process of reality versus, what this narcissist says. So it's like you're going between these moments of, I have reality, but, and they want, well, let's put it this way. What they want you to do is isolate you away where you are totally dependent on their emotional needs. You are dependent on them to validate you, and your emotional needs come from them. And so they get you away from the voices of reasons and people that can talk to you and tell you what is truth and what is fiction, what is reality and what is not reality, what is a lie versus what is the truth. And that's the part of that narcissistic personality disorder. But they isolate you or get you away from people that are voices of reason, that are not fooled by the narcissist and will educate you or tell you what is right and what is wrong. And a lot of times when you're talking to people, if you notice, you're talking to people that are in these types of relationships, the thing that you hear them say the most is, can you believe he, and then he have the nerve to say, or she said, and so a lot of times people are speaking out loud, trying to, it's almost like they're trying to listen to they're grappling with their own reality of, can you believe that this person said, and then they said, and then they had the nerve to say, and then they said I was crazy, and then they said I don't do this, and I don't have enough jobs, and I'm not, and they're speaking out loud. A lot of times not even speaking to you, they're speaking out loud. But you can tell that gaslighter, which is that narcissist, that gaslighter has caused them to be unstable. You begin to question what is right and what is wrong. You begin to question your own education, because they're so, convincing, that you'll begin to question your own education. We'll just use one of the extremes, a lawyer, a judge, the law itself. You'll begin to question the law. And everything that you say is always what you heard that person say. And remember the projection. A lot of times you hear people talking, they're telling you information, and for a fact that is not how they think. That is how that narcissist thinks. Let's see, here on Healthline, I was looking at some of the signs of gaslighting. And on Healthline, look on Healthline and as gaslighting, signs of gaslighting. And Dr. Robin Stern, who is the author of the book, The Gaslight Effect, How to Spot and Survive the Hidden Manipulations others use to control your life, and then signs that you are a victim of gaslighting. And some of the things that she named was, you no longer feel like the person that you used to be. Some of you have said it, I used to be confident, and that's the biggest thing. They attack your self-esteem and then if you think about it, the thing about them is what they loved and idealized the most about you is what they end up hating the most. Because when they see your weaknesses and when they see your low self-esteem and when they see that you are a victim, they despise you to the core. They hate to see you as a victim because guess what? They're a victim too. And so they hate to see their own fragility in you because you are they looked at you as being superhuman, and then they find out that you're just as weak. When it says weak, meaning emotionally, capable of being hurt and injured. So they despise you even more. Remember the projection? They see you and then they hate what they see in themselves because they see themselves. The weakness, they see themselves because they're weak individuals, emotionally weak, mentally weak individuals. They just present themselves as being strong, like the Wizard of Oz. He hid behind that screen and he was the great Oz. Come to find out he was a tiny little man that was afraid, that was just projecting his voice to make himself sound really, really big. Same thing with that narcissist. It's a projection, it's a facade, Another thing, you're always anxious and you're less confident that you used to, like before that you used to be before. You're less confident than what you used to be before. You're often wondering if you're too sensitive. So you are not being validated, and so they'll invalidate. I think that's the word, but you're not being validated. So your emotions, your memories are being, they're attacking your memories. They're attacking your sensitivity. If you say something hurt, they invalidate you. They make it see, they play it down. You as a human have needs and you have fears and you have hurts and pains, and they play everything down. Everything is not a big deal. You tell them that you're wounded or you're hurt, and I can't believe, and they play it down because they turn it back around on themselves. What do you think I feel like? And then they play on that sensitivity that you have. You always feel like you're doing something wrong. Most of you guys feel that way anyway. You can never do anything right. Everything you do is wrong. And no matter what you do, it's never, ever enough. Because a narcissist is a walking pit, a walking hole. No matter what you give to that narcissist, it's like a empty, bottomless pit. It doesn't matter what you do or say, it's never, ever enough. So you always feel like, am I doing enough? Am I being too sensitive? You always think that everything is your fault. So you're the type of person that may apologize all the time. You're always apologizing. I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And people are like, you don't have to be sorry. That's not your fault. But you're always apologizing. You have to watch that. You're not always the one that has to apologize. But you apologize all the time, having a sense that something is wrong, but being unable to identify with it. You know that something is wrong. You're in a relationship with an individual that's gaslighting you, especially a narcissist, but you know in your knower that there's something wrong. There's something wrong with this person because that person is psychologically disturbed. They're psychologically disturbed. There's something wrong with them, even though they walk in plain sight and nobody knows because they operate on a facade, an illusion. They operate in a television series in their head that's playing, so people see them as being perfectly normal. What did Ted Bundy look like? He looked like a perfectly normal individual. That no one knew that he was doing some of the things that he was doing, and he was a narcissist, and plus, some other antisocial psychopath, sociopath kind of stuff. But so they look normal, but that there's something wrong. You can't put your finger on it, but people try to make and see, and that's where your friends and family start to gaslight you and don't even realize that they're gaslighting you. It's probably just you because you've had bad relationships in the past, so you're real overly sensitive. This is the good man, this is a good woman, this is the first time you met, they've been fooled too. They've fallen for the illusion. So you're being gaslighted by the individual you're in a relationship with, and then your family members are gaslighting you. So how easy is it for a person to try to escape this where everyone around you is gaslighting you? It's all in your head. So guess what the narcissist does? It's all in your head. Just like you said, you've been in a bad relationship, so you don't recognize a good relationship when you see how they take everything that is positive and they use it against you in order for power and control to make you feel like you're crazy. And then you're thinking like, yeah, you're right. I need to put my guards down. I need to relax, but that's what that narcissist wants you to do. Don't put your guards down and don't relax. Let's see, feeling isolated from friends and family. Remember, sometimes your friends and family are the voices of reason. Now, true enough, everyone doesn't know how to articulate it the right way. Everyone doesn't know how to say it the right way. And sometimes, well-meaning people, even family and friends, say things the wrong way and gaslight you as well. But a lot of times they isolate you from family and friends because that's your support system. They know that that's a voice of reason. They know that your family and friends and people around you, associate, brothers and sisters, whoever, those are the ones that keep you in your reality, to keep you from really slipping off into feeling like you just have lost your mind or went crazy. Let's see. Finding it increasingly hard to make decisions. A lot of you have a hard time making decisions, especially coming out of the relationship with a narcissist. You always want someone to validate you and make sure that what you're doing and what you're saying is right, because they've taken that from you. They've made you feel like you're crazy and you don't have the capacity of making decisions. You made a decision to leave. Some of you left. And so, of course, now you're crazy because you left. You don't know, you don't know what you had and how good you have it, or had it. And some of your friends and family look at it too. Girl, you had a house, you had a car, you didn't have to work if you didn't want to, or dude, she was this and she did that and she did this. Stop telling people that, because you don't know what was going on behind closed doors. You have no idea the trauma, the psychological trauma, the physical trauma, what these people have gone through, what their children have gone through. Before you're quick to open your mouth and give people advice and you don't know what you're talking about, be quiet and listen. Pay attention. Watch these videos and pay attention and listen before you give people your opinion. And then most times, victims of domestic violence or victims that are in a relationship with a narcissist, they're in denial. They're always making excuses. You're always making excuses for the narcissist behavior. They can have broke your nose, blackened both of your eyes, sent you to the hospital. But later on, when they've hoovered you back in, you're making excuses for that narcissist. The police department is corrupt. Oh my gosh, he was stressed. Oh my gosh, she whatever. She came from a bad family. She came, she's been abused and I'm trying to work with her. Hope is the last thing to go. One thing you got to understand, that when you're dealing with a person that is in domestic violence, a narcissist especially, they're not going to change. It's not your responsibility to try to change them. And most people don't leave the relationship. And when they do go look for help, they're not looking for help to help them out of the relationship. Because once you make your mind up to leave, nothing can stop you. Once you make up in your mind that this is it, I don't care whether you change or not, I am out of here. Most people progress forward. But most people come to look for help because they want the person to change. It's not that they want to leave, they want the person to change. So as long as you are looking for help because you want that person to change, you're always going to fail. You're always going to be in the same loop. And it doesn't matter what resources you get. It doesn't matter what coaching you get. It doesn't matter what counseling you get, because you haven't made up your mind. That person's not going to change. But in your mind, you're hoping like, if I leave at the wrong time, they may change for someone else. Temporarily, until they pull that person in. But a narcissist doesn't change. A narcissist is not going to change. The only way that they change is every time they get with a new supply, they change momentarily in order to pull that new supply in. Then they mirror the new supply. So they change their clothing, they change their language, they change the crowd that they're around, but they're still the exact same person on the inside. I've even heard people say, you don't know me. You don't know me because I've changed. That's why you don't know me. No, you on the inside have not changed. You on the outside have changed because you have a different crowd that you're manipulating. So you have to blend in with the crowd that you're manipulating. So don't believe that. And until you make up your mind that you want to go, until you make up your mind that it doesn't matter, you're going to be stuck in that same cycle. So the gaslighting is part of that. And that right there is what causes you to feel like you are going crazy and you have lost your mind. And sometimes good friends back away from you. And it's not that they don't care about you. Number one, they hate to see you go through what you're going through. And number two, they don't want to be in the path of the wrath of the narcissist, because they have children and people that they have to protect. They love you and they want to see you well, but I can't be a part of that, because you'll pull me right into that garbage, and I don't know what'll happen to me and my children. So I'm going to protect myself. So you guys have to make up your mind. Whoever's still in it, you have to make up your mind, and don't make up the excuse there are no resources. There are national hotlines that you can call. And you can't downplay the abuse that you're going through. And if you call one, well, I've called. No, you have not made up your mind to leave. You got to make up your mind that you want to leave. Most people do not look for help because they want to go. They look for help because they want the person to change. They're not going to change. You are the one that's going to change. You have to make up your mind that you want to go. But I love him. I love her. That's not love. That is not love. Now, I'm not gaslighting you, but that's not love. What kind of love damages another human being? What kind of love destroys a person's mentality, their thought process? What type of love, put their hands on you and spew vengeful, evil words to you? What type of love doesn't permit you to be yourself and your true, genuine, authentic self? What type of love would hurt children, innocent children that haven't grown? That's not love, y'all. That's not love. But I love him. No, you don't love him. You are attached. You are traumatically bonded to him, to her. That is not love. And many people have not seen what love looks like. So you make up this thing in your head, which most of us have done, of what love should be, because I've never. So this is why I want to fight for this. I want to fight. And some people have just said, Dr. C, I'm just, I made up my mind. I'm just going to stay. Well, then you can't complain. Then you have to accept your fate. That is the fate that you're in, that you have chosen. You chose that. But there are ways out. Don't ever think that there's not a way out. There's always a way out. Always. Regardless whether if you're materialistic and you don't want to leave the material, then you just have to you literally are going to have to decide that you'll take the abuse so you can have the material thing. No life is worth material items. You can replace material items. So what if you'll never be a millionaire again because you're leaving? But you have a peace of mind, and a peace of mind is priceless. Peace and safety is priceless, and your children are watching you. You have no idea how it affects the child's mind as they're developing, especially from childhood up, that they're learning how to live in a hostile environment, a hostile situation. So it's up to you. I don't know why I had to say that at the end, but this is for somebody. Somebody needed to hear this, and I just wanted to make sure that you have this information. So thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for following me. Make sure you go check out my other social media platforms, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse on Instagram and on Facebook. And I do have I don't even know why I have 2 Facebook pages. I need to merge both of them, because one is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. The other one is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. But I want you guys to start filtering over to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, because I want to merge the two, because I need to get rid of the other one. That professional one I use for the exact same reason that I use Overcoming, is for really social, not social media, but more for educational purposes. But those of you know that there's a conference coming up this weekend, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, from 4 to 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. And you have people on there. Let me give you all the people that are going to be on there. And there is a registration. So you go and register. I couldn't post it on Instagram. I don't know if the link is on Instagram that I put on Instagram. But you have people on there, such as Dr. Caroline Leaf, Jerry and Tanisha Flowers, the Flowers, David Burris, Sade Oladapo, and of course myself. And this is through Oasis of Grace Ministries. And you guys go look on my, I think I put a link in my community tab on YouTube where you can click so that you can register for the conference, or you can go on my Facebook page. I have it listed there, and you can click on the link to register. Make sure you're there, invite your friends, because they're talking about topics and being able to, wholeness, in a time like this. So it's good for you guys to go register, come and support, the speakers, come and support me. Most of you guys know I get nervous until I see some familiar names. So I'm human too. So make sure you go and register. And make sure you go and subscribe to my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. And make sure you share, so we can get her numbers up and get the information out. If you watch her and I guarantee you, give us 6 months and there's going to be a change in your life. I promise you there's going to be a change in your life. That was my mentor. She brought me through. So this is one of her products. One of the many products within the ministry. I'm one of the products of her work. And so if you like my work, then you know that go listen to both of us. Go listen to her, whatever you need, because she provides you with a spiritual, biblical perspective of narcissist abuse. Also, right now, churches are closed. So if you're looking for a church and you need someone to feed you spiritually, she is the senior pastor of Into His Chambers Global Ministries. Please go check out her Facebook or on Periscope. It's under Apostle Helen or Apostle Helen Sadler. And you can join in on Thursdays. You can join in on Sundays when we have services. And then prayer is on the prayer line on Tuesdays. For those of you that are wanting that extra, you guys go and listen, come into prayer line. You'll be on the prayer line with a lot of us. We'll be on there. You'll hear our voices on there. When you mute, each minister is on there praying. So you get an opportunity either to pray or listen to prayer. Come in and listen to prayer if that's something that you need during these times. So once again, I thank you guys so much. Those of you that are seeking coaching, I do provide coaching, and I enjoy each and every one of you that I get to meet face to face. It is truly an honor. It is an honor to put faces with YouTube screen names, and it is a distinct honor. Please email me, drcarmenbryan@outlook.com, and I will provide you my rates, my fees for coaching. I cannot provide counseling for anyone outside of the state of Washington. I am licensed in the state of Washington. The only thing that I can provide you with is coaching services outside the state of Washington. Coaching and counseling are two different things. And I do have a video, scroll through my videos, where I did discuss the difference between coaching and counseling. And also, whenever you guys sign up for coaching, I do send you some information, and it reads in there what I do for you when it comes to coaching. And coaching is very powerful, but some people actually need counseling. Some of you are still dealing with the psychological effects of the abuse that you have been through, complex post-traumatic stress. Some of you have been sexually abused from childhood up. Some of your children have been abused. Some of you guys are emotionally unstable, especially by a gaslighter. Come on, emotionally, you're not in that place. Some of you also need to connect with med providers, just to give you some medications, for those of you that believe in medication, give you medications to balance you out while you're processing through your trauma. You have EMDR, you have, all sorts of different counseling. So some people need counseling first before you come for coaching. And when you come to coaching, when I realize that what you're asking for is beyond coaching, I always tell you guys, I'm not going to take you as a client. I need you to connect with a counselor first, because these are some things that you need to address. So I do not cross the boundaries because I have as a counselor, as a therapist, we have the highest credential within our states, which is licensing through the boards. And that holds us accountable for what we do and do not do. So I still take that in consideration, even during coaching, where I recognize where you need counseling and not coaching. And so I'm not putting down any other coach, because coaches, there's certain things when they're certified to do it, there's certain things that they have to learn and they understand. But when you have not been through, through the courses, when I say educational courses and the understanding of psychological disorders and that's why I have a heart for those that work in psychiatry and psychology, because you have the highest credential, but you're also held at the highest ethics standards as well. The state trusts you with people's minds and hearts, and we are licensed. We have to, continue education. You have to stay abreast of changing theories and changing psychological research, and so we are held at a different standard. And with a coach, you're still held at a higher standard. But a lot of times coaches have a problem, not all of them. Coaches have a problem with crossing over into the therapeutic role, and you cannot cross over into the therapeutic role and give people your opinion. When you are dealing with certain things that are mental health issues, those need to be handed over to us as therapists and not handled by coaches. So I want you guys to be very aware of that, because a lot of times people talk to me and they say, well, this coach said, well, that coach crossed the boundaries, because that is leading into mental health counseling, and that is wrong. And so some people feel confident. So be very, very careful when you choose. You can go to my sponsored link, which is betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. And they have licensed therapists throughout the whole nation. You can find them. And when you're looking for a therapist, remember, not all therapists understand what narcissist abuse is. Talk to them about domestic violence. I've been through domestic violence, severe psychological abuse. I think I have post-traumatic stress, or, do you understand the psychological damage caused by an abuser or psychological abuse? Those are the terminologies that you want to use. And most people ask the question, and I said this before, why don't therapists really understand about narcissist abuse? You have to understand that when, and I was like that at first too. We value the education that we've gotten through academic programs, college programs. And one of the things that we have to do in order to maintain our credibility within the world of science, within the world of research, within the world of theories, and we pay every year, every 2 years here in the state of Washington, we have to make sure that we're getting continuing education to stay abreast of the changing psychologies and ways of helping people of healing and new theories that come out, and, the research that has been done. We pay a lot of money to make sure that we are credible. We pay a lot of money to make sure that we are respected professionals in the field of therapy, psychology, in the medical arena, so that's a lot of, when we pride ourselves on that, so a lot of times people won't merge away from that academic setting. So when you hear a lot of terminology from popular psychology, a lot of times people misuse that and they give false information or bad information out that does not correlate with what research shows or what we've learned in academic settings. So a lot of times people don't want to cross those boundaries because we're trying to maintain our credibility. We're trying to maintain our respect. But, as the times are changing, people are changing, the population is younger than a lot of us and we're getting older. Now it's time to listen to the younger people. What terminology are you using, and how can I take your terminology to understand how that applies in the world of psychology and to teach you what that means? So, it's not the fact that they don't know, because therapeutically they may know, but they don't know what the words, the popular psychology, flying monkeys. We don't go to school and learn about a flying monkey. What is a flying monkey? Oh, an enabler. Oh, okay, an enabler. So that means in the world of chemical dependency, you also learn about the different roles family members play. You have the scapegoat, you have the golden child. Those are a lot of terminology that's used like in chemical dependency. And so we're having to learn, a lot of us are learning how to correlate the two worlds together and then to bring teaching. So that's how I really learned. I was teaching what I was teaching, but it made more sense when I took popular psychology and those words and blended it in. It was more effective because more people could relate instead of me using all these big psychological terminologies that a lot of times the only people that understood it was people in the world of psychology. But with a doctor's degree, when you have a doctor's degree, a doctor of education, I hold a doctor of education, but the one thing that our chairperson, when we went through our residency, one of the biggest things that he taught us, he says, as doctor of education students, and as you are entering into your dissertation, your responsibility as an educator is to bring people on the level of understanding that you have. He says, the only person that understands what you're saying is just you and your peers, then you are not effective at all as a teacher, as an educator. Your responsibility is make sure that people understand the message that you're trying to convey. So I took that to heart. Even, and the beautiful thing is serving in the military, everything was written on the 7th and 8th grade level. All the manuals, everything is written on the 7th and 8th grade manual to make it easy for people to understand, and so likewise, I take that training, I take that education, and I take that, that modern psychology, that's popular psychology, and blend it in with our knowledge to give you an explanation of how I understand it. So a lot of times when you guys ask me questions like, what does this mean? I don't know. Let me go look it up. Oh, this is what that means. This is what they're referring to in psychology. It's just a different word to help a newer population to understand. So, I was trying to say, when you go and seek the counselors, understand that, yes, some of them don't, because some people take advantage of narcissism. I think somebody on here, which is funny, sometimes I like reading the comments just to get a laugh for the day. And somebody said that because I wore so much makeup that I can't possibly be an empath. I'm a narcissist. You could tell that I'm the content provider or whatever is a narcissist because the amount of makeup that I wear. First of all, everybody's not an empath. Know that. A lot of times people want to categorize themselves in order to feel validated. Everybody is not an empath. Everybody's not an empath. Empaths are very special people, and super empaths are very special individuals, very sensitive. Remember that they're very sensitive. They're very sensitive to people's moods and feelings. We need our empath because these are the people that have that gift of mercy. These are the people that care about people and care about animals, and then some of us are just not empaths. We're not. We have empathy, but we just don't feel everything. We don't feel everybody's mood. We don't feel everybody. And for some of us, like for me, if you get overly clinging, you get overly, I can't handle that. It's too much energy, too much, so everybody is not an empath, first of all. And then no, because I wear a bunch of makeup. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on, let me get it out. Because of the fact that I wear a bunch of makeup. That was funny. Hold on. I'm going to keep this in the video too. That's funny. I'm trying to keep my makeup from running because I wear a bunch of makeup. I'm a narcissist. That was good. Now that was good. I got my laugh for the day. I can get my day started. So thank you guys so much for joining in. That was a good one. I like that. I should have just left that. I shouldn't even block the person. I should just let the person stay. That was a good one. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel, Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I'm probably going to laugh when I come off camera. That was a good one. I like that. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day and go be great.